You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do the math. If it ain't for you, let it pass on through.
How you doing? This is Terrion Wilson, aka yo boy, Brotha T, here with another one. So this channel is called T's Life Tree. And on this channel, we like to drop little pine cones of wisdom for you. Now, if you don't know what a pine cone of wisdom is, stick around, stay on the channel, you'll get it. All right, today we're going to talk about analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis. So what is analysis paralysis? Well, we'll give you an actual definition in a couple of minutes. But first, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like and subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, then I can continue to give you those pine cones of wisdom I was talking about. Just stick around and stay on the channel. You'll get it, right? All right. So let's talk about analysis paralysis. You know, we live our lives, and sometimes we can really fall victim to this without knowing we're falling victim to it. So what is it? Sometimes when we're trying to achieve certain goals and certain, trying to get to a certain level in life, we'll start planning out things and we'll have certain like plans and goals that we set for ourselves. And sometimes we can just overthink it. Sometimes we get stuck. Just, what if this goes wrong? Or what if that goes wrong? Or, man, am I good enough to even be doing it in the first place? And a lot of times that stops us from even starting, right? So let me give you the actual definition. So analysis paralysis is when overthinking or overanalyzation can cause forward movement to paralyze or become stagnant, right? All right, so today we're going to talk about a few things that can cause analysis paralysis. Now, I can't give you every single thing that causes analysis paralysis because I'll be here for hours. It'll probably be hundreds, if not thousands, of reasons why you fell victim to analysis paralysis. But I'm just gonna hit on probably the top 3 things or 4 things that can cause this that you're probably not aware of. And maybe you are aware of and you just haven't dealt with the issue head on yet. All right, so let's go into a few things. So one of the things that can cause analysis paralysis when you're trying to achieve your goal in life or get to a certain level of whatever you're trying to do is your environment, right? Especially your when you're in childhood. Okay, that environment has a bigger bearing on you as an adult than you might realize, right? And that's because of your paradigm. Your paradigm is the way you think, for those that don't know. Okay, so what causes your paradigm and the way you think? Subconscious, right? We do things consciously, right? These are things that we choose to do. Simple, right? So you wake up, you consciously go get a cup of coffee. You consciously choose the music you're going to listen to on your way to your job. Okay. Subconscious is things that you really don't control. You do those on autopilot. Something subconscious can be if someone makes you angry and you snap and react a certain way automatically. That can be subconscious doing that. Okay. And you don't know why you did it. Sometimes you just, oh, he just makes me mad, you know. Subconscious. And it's probably stems from something in your childhood if you go back and do your work. Now, your environment can cause analysis paralysis as well. Okay, the way it can, let's go back to your childhood, and let's say you grew up in a house that that your parents may have suffered from a lack mentality or broke thinking. And we're not going to sit here and judge our parents, right? A lot of our parents, they did the best they could do with the tools that they had, rearing us as children. But let's be honest, sometimes, especially if you are Generation X, right? You may have grown up in a certain way with certain struggles if you were in the hood, right? And you know, you get into a certain mentality, you get more into a survival mindset. And sometimes when you get into that survival mindset, you do what you have to do to make it to the next day, to make it to the next week, right? But on the flip side, that also a lot of times puts you into a lack mentality or broke thinking. I'll give you an example of broke thinking, and I'm not judging anybody out there. If you are a victim of broke thinking, some people actually have money and still have broke mindsets. So I'm not going to judge you on that. I just want to point it out to you. So if you see it happening in your life to a point where it's affecting your overall life, I want you to make that adjustment so we can get out here, get this money, and we can live better, okay, as a community. So one example of broke thinking. Let's say I handed you $500, right? And I say, hey, here's $500. I'm just as a friend, I'm just giving you $500. Do what you want with it, right? And let's say the first thing you do, even though you have bills that you need to catch up on, you have certain things that you need to do. And let's say wow, I always wanted those Jordans, right? Or I always wanted that, Coach purse or whatever, right? Now believe it or not, even though you're buying something that you think has a lot of value and that's premium, that's actually broke thinking, especially if you have bills you need to catch up on. How about catching the bills up first and then taking the rest of the money and invest it? That's when you're not in that lack mindset. And sometimes that can cause analysis paralysis. I'll tie it in a second. So let's fast forward. Let's just say you grew up like that, with that lack mentality. As an adult, you still have that lack mentality more than likely. Now, there's two ways that you can respond to it. Some people respond to the lack mentality by showing their worth on the outside, by buying expensive things, by buying luxury items. They think that they're getting away from the broke mindset. Well, actually, you're massaging that lack mindset or that broke thinking. And the other way people respond to it is actually just following the same patterns from those said parents, grandparents, whoever. Okay, which is the same spending habits. Even though your bills are behind, you're going to try to buy luxury items, right? And this is sometimes so you can impress people around you. A lot of times when people wear their worth on the outside, they do things to impress other people. It's not about them. A lot of times, if you find somebody that's truly happy on the inside, they're not just going to have their outside looking like whatever, but at the same time, that's not going to be the only priority in their life, if that makes sense, right? You're going to see other areas of their lives prosper as well as them taking care of themselves. Okay, so environment, that's one thing that can cause analysis paralysis. And I need to tie it in. So let me tie it in. I'm sorry. All right, so let's tie it in, right? So how can that environment, especially with broke thinking and lack mentality, how can that cause or help cause you to have analysis paralysis? All right, let's say you're ready to start that business or, whatever you're trying to achieve in life. You're trying to get that master's degree, that doctorate degree. Analysis paralysis can kick in because of that broke mindset. When you start planning out, okay, this is what I need to go or what I need to do to get to where I want to go, you'll start overthinking it. But what if it doesn't work? What if I'm not smart enough to go to school? And that can happen because of lack mentality. Because when you're in a lack mentality, it's not really about the money, is it? It's about I'm afraid not to have, right? So that lack, that fear of lack in your life that caused you to make those bad decisions with money, that can bleed over to your education. That could bleed over to whatever achievement you're trying to make. You'll be afraid to start that business because you know that you have an affinity for spending money where you're not supposed to spend money, which is one of the number one rules of being a bad entrepreneur, right? is being crazy with the company's money. That could definitely affect that analysis paralysis. Another thing that could cause analysis paralysis is information overload, right? Let's say you are astute. Let's say you're good at researching, grabbing information, and getting what you need to start something. If you go overboard with that, you'll never start it. At some point, you have to put it into the practical world, into the real world. You have to actually do something. You can't just spend all of your time researching what you need to do. At some point, you need to do it. And I'll give advice to some out there that want to be entrepreneurs, or if you're an entrepreneur and you need a hand up. A lot of times it's great to get another entrepreneur in your network. Try to find one, or if you know one personally, and get them as a mentor of sorts, right? This helps you because they have possibly went through some of the struggles that you can have as a person that just started their business or your entrepreneurial effort. So let's go back to, though, when you do that too much and you grab too much information, it causes you to become stagnant, and sometimes that can feed your fear as well. You keep grabbing information. Oh, well, I might need more training on this, and so you get more training, and then now I need expert level training. So you try to get the expert level training, and then before you know it, you're like, man, I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the right training. Maybe this other training is better. And now you're getting into a point where you never start the business, or you never, start the schooling because you don't know which school to go to. And this school might be better than that school. And what's the, you get where I'm going with this. Information overload definitely can become a problem and can cause analysis paralysis. Another thing that could cause analysis paralysis is procrastination. And that can go the other two, the environment and information overload. They can feed procrastination as well, right? So they all can kind of tie into each other. And procrastination can be standalone as well. You can just be a lazy person, right? You can plan to do something. You can actually be very skilled and talented at something in particular, and just let procrastination take over, and you never get to doing what you need to be doing in order to achieve your goals. So let me give you an example. You're looking at this show on YouTube, right? You're looking at me. I'm trying to give you some game here. Let's say I never got around to recording this today, right? Because I need more preparation. I need to look right. I don't like this shirt. I'm going to wait and try to order a white shirt in the mail. People find so many ways not to do something when they're scared to do it, okay? So when you procrastinate, that can definitely cause analysis paralysis, because you laying around, then you start thinking like, am I even good enough to be doing this? Or what if it doesn't work out? And, just sitting around, sometimes they have a saying that an idle mind is the devil's workshop or playground or something like that. I might be butchering it, but you get the idea. And that's why they say that. Put yourself in motion, put yourself in gear. Whatever your goals are, if your goals are to have a YouTube channel or whatever you're going to do, try to work every day towards that. Even if it's a small step, right? You'll get away from that procrastination. And analysis, you want to analyze stuff on a level of getting you to the next point, or your overall, vision. You want to analyze that for sure, but you don't want to analyze it to the point where you're not taking those steps, those practical steps to make it a real thing. Let me give you some things. This is a little side note before we get to the last one. And this helps with not procrastinating as well. If you make an overall vision for whatever you're trying to achieve, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be schooling. It can be, achieving a certain level of success at your job that you're on, or it can be, entrepreneurial or business. Doesn't matter. You need to sit down. That's where the analysis really comes into play. You do want to analyze what you need to do to get where you're trying to go. After that, though, don't leave it up here. Write it down. Start writing it down. Even if you're starting a YouTube channel, I'll give you an example, because you're watching this on YouTube, so it would make sense to put it in that context. When I make a YouTube channel, I have an overall vision for the YouTube channel. What is it going to be geared towards? Who am I trying to help? How am I going to get them that help? And how can I use my tools, my talents, my skills to help them get to that point? Okay. After I figure that out, the overall vision of it, now I start writing down potential episodes that I can make, right? And then within those potential episodes, now I start to write down, what can cause this, what can cause that, You get the idea. Everything is written out. Once it's written out, it's not a dream anymore. You're not thinking it. Now it becomes practical. It becomes a real thing on paper or board, wherever you write it. It becomes something that you can do, something practical. It's no longer a pipe dream, right? And this can happen in every aspect of your life. If you're trying to get a doctorate degree, write it down. Okay, this is what I need to obtain a doctorate degree. And these are the steps I need to take to achieve that, right? If you're trying to be any other type of entrepreneur or small business, get an overall vision of your business. What need are you going to be filling with that business? Okay, is there a demand for that business? What do you need to get to the level that you want to get to? What licenses do you need? Okay. How are you going to structure the business? Is it going to be a LLC? Is it going to be a corporation? Okay. Are you offering a service or a product or both? Okay. How are people going to get this product? What are you going to price it at? You need to write this stuff down. Don't keep it up here. Okay. Just a side note. I know that was kind of long, but somebody needed it out there. Trust me. All right, so let's go to the last thing that I'm going to name today that can cause analysis paralysis. And it's probably the biggest thing and probably the biggest reason why people don't do what they want to do in life and that they should be doing in life. And the number one reason in my book is self-doubt. Okay, so we're going to start with a quote by Susie, I believe, Kuzman. I could be butchering her last name. I just want to give credit when credit is due. And the quote says that self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Okay? Think about that for a second. Think about it. Think about it. Self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So what is she trying to say? What she's trying to say is, don't let the self-doubt or the fear of failure stop you from getting yourself out there. If you doubt yourself to the point where you're not even putting yourself out there, you're 100% guaranteed to fail. Okay, you're guaranteed to fail. But if you put yourself out there and you don't exactly get the results you want, let me tell you what can happen on the positive side of it, right? Sometimes you can put yourself out there and things cannot go your way, and you could take that as a learning lesson. Okay, now if I start another business or whatever I'm trying to do, now I know what not to do. Okay, these are the mistakes I made. Let me adjust them, and now I can go a different path. And some people call that pivot as well, right? You want to be able to pivot. All right, so let's say your business is going in a certain direction, and you see that, hey, it's not working out the way I want, but I see something that I can do really well in this business. So let me pivot to that and let me go over here because that's working better for the business. And a lot of people get successful that way. All right. So that's another thing that can happen. But if you have self-doubt, if you stop yourself from putting yourself out there, you never get to the point where you can make that pivot or make that decision. Right. All right. And analysis paralysis can actually affect us on a relationship level as well. Some guys can let fear and the fear of rejection stop them from approaching a very beautiful woman that they really are interested in. And ladies, you'll connect to this when I say sometimes you'll find guys and they'll be kind of staring at you, and you'll look back and they'll be staring and you look like, okay, he's a creep. Like sometimes it's not a creep. Sometimes it's just a guy that's scared to approach you, but you're so beautiful that he has to keep his attention on you. Okay. Some of them are creeps. Okay. But that's not true 100% of the time. He's letting that self-doubt cause analysis paralysis. He's overthinking the situation. He's saying she's so beautiful. She might have a boyfriend. I bet you she has a boyfriend. Well, I bet you she just rejects guys all day. She's not, I'm probably not good enough anyway. Right. And he's letting all this analysis stop him from achieving that goal of maybe getting to know you and taking that to the next level later on, or maybe even get a good friend out of it. You never know. All right, so let's wrap this up. This is Terrion Wilson for T's Life Tree, and we talked about analysis paralysis. So don't let these things affect you. your environment as a kid. Make sure you take care of those childhood traumas. Take care of that broke thinking. Get that lack mentality out of there. Okay? And don't let information overload become a problem either. Don't analyze something to the point where you never started. Don't become super smart, book nerdy about it, and then you can't put it into practical, in the practical world and actually do what you need to do. Another thing, don't let procrastination stop you, especially if you're being lazy, okay? Don't let laziness stop you from achieving your goals. Get up, put yourself out there. And last one, don't let self-doubt stop you from making that first step, because once you put yourself out there, that's the hardest part, right? Everything else you deal with as it comes, but the hardest part sometimes is to making that first step. So make that the part that you run head on to, okay? And don't overthink this stuff. Just do it. If you want to start a YouTube channel, just do it, man. You'll learn while you're doing it. And you'll learn if you really don't want to do it, right? So put yourself out there, right? You want to start that business, go ahead and start that business, especially if you can write it out and really come up with a really nice plan. Just don't overthink it. Just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. And don't be lazy, right? And then don't let self-doubt stop you. Self-doubt is the biggest one. With people I've met over the years and people I know personally, self-doubt can stop you from just achieving great things in life. This is your man, Brotha T, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, I need you to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I'll try to connect with you. I'll try to, answer any questions or just confer with you or even have a discussion or even a debate, right? If you want to debate it. I don't know who would want to debate those things, though. That's pretty clear cut. But if you do, I'm open to it. This has been your man, Brotha T, and I gotta go, family. And I'll talk to you on the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.